Johnny Baliza. Teacher Johnny Baliza. Oh, Johnny, we cannot see the slide anymore. Can you guys see the presentation? Because I can't. I don't know if if you guys. Oh yes, they are saying yes. Okay.
Yes, they can.
So, yes, okay. So let me tell you who Johnny Baliza is. Johnny Baliza has been a teacher for years, and so he's very experienced. And he's also a tutor, a CELTA tutor, right? He's been working with us here at CNA Administração Nacional for about almost a year now. And tonight, yes, Johnny, yes, he's saying yes. And tonight he's going to be with us to talk about writing strategies, right, Johnny? So I'll let you guys now with Johnny to teach you about writing strategies and help you, guiding you in how to write better texts during the Linguaskill. So Johnny, now it's with you, right?
Hey there, thank you, Jackie, for this lovely introduction. Thank you so very much. Hi, everybody, good evening. How's everybody doing? You can interact with me via chat, okay? Although this is more a webinar than it is a workshop, we can interact via chat. So Gabriel is good, all right. I'm speaking from São Paulo, so it's very cold here. My fingers are frozen. But let's talk about writing, right? Can you let me know in the chat where you're speaking from? Are you all from São Paulo? Do we have people from different cities here, different states of Brazil? Pirigui, São Paulo, Vitória, Mato Grosso, Barra Mansa, Jaguariúna, nice, Minas Gerais. Excellent. And is this your first time attending the open class? Or did you attend the previous sessions as well? Second time? No, my third. Excellent. First. So you have a couple of first comers as well. Excellent. Fantastic. It's a very diverse group, right? Okay. Fantastic. So let's get to it. Let's get down to business, right? This is the agenda for today. So I organized the session into before the test and some tips that you can follow during the test as well. So we start with writing before the test, and then we go to some general tips, writing as a whole, as a skill. That links back to the question that Ana Paula asked in the beginning of the session. If this session also applies for the FCE test, some of these strategies, yes, some, the more specific parts, not really. And then we move on to the overview of the writing test. During the test, we'll talk about part 1 and part 2 in details. And then we wrap it all up with writing the do's, okay? We usually finish with do's and don'ts, but today let's focus on just the do's, okay? And then we have some final considerations, and then we all go to bed because it's excellent to sleep in this weather, right? All right, so let's start with before the test. For those of you who attended the sessions prior to this one, we have talked about some strategies that you can do, some strategies that you can follow before the test as a whole. We talked about it in session 1 and we talked about it in session 2. Do you remember a couple of practices that you can do to improve your English as a whole before the test? Some resources that we have available. What do you remember? Let me know in the chat. Don't be shy. Free online practice tests, fantastic. That's it. That's it, Beatriz. What else? Consume media like films, music, or books, excellent. Exercises, mock tests, excellent. Renato. Reading, writing. Do we have anything exclusive for CNA students. There are some sample tests on the Cambridge site made for Linguaskill. Excellent. Very good, Nelson. Conversation. What about for CNA students? What do we have? Do we have any platform, any tool? Excellent. CNA Net, web lessons. Fantastic. Excellent. So, you pretty much nailed it. I have here a couple of strategies that you can follow, but you pretty much nailed it. So the very first one is get yourself familiarized with the test. You can do so by accessing Cambridge English website. It's pretty easy to find the website. To just type in on Google Cambridge English Linguaskill. It's the very first result that you'll have on your Google search. And then you get to this page. Here we have the mock tests. They are divided into 3 parts. So you have the reading and listening mock test, the writing mock test, and the speaking one. Okay, pretty easy. We'll talk about the writing mock tests. I'm using them as examples today, so you can get familiarized with the mock tests already. A second part that we have that is interesting for us in the website, on the website, is these writing samples. Okay, it has got 4 types of writing samples, and it's interesting because they can show you what is expected from a learner, an English learner at different levels. So you have examples of A2 writing, you have examples of B1 writing, B2 writing, and C1 writing. And as English learners, that we all are, myself included, it's not because I'm a teacher that I'm not a learner anymore. I learn English every day. I study the language every day. You can access these samples and you can try to notice vocabulary, chunks of language, interesting phrases that you can incorporate into your own writing, into your own language repertoire, right? So this is also very good for you to do before the test. A third thing that you can do is, of course, our exclusive platform for CNA students, CNA Net. It's an excellent tool for you to review and consolidate language that you have already studied, right? And the more you consolidate and review the language that you are studying, currently studying, the more naturally this language will come to you during the test. Not only during the test, but during life, right? So it's very important that you study in cycles, right? You see something in class, then after some time you review that language and try to consolidate it so that it becomes natural to you. And you can do so by doing our web lessons and the activities on CNA Net. And of course, this is exclusive for CNA students, so try to make the best out of this CNA tool. And finally, a fourth tip that you can follow in a second is write and improve. This is a website, this is a tool that we talked about on our first session, if I'm not mistaken. For those of you who didn't attend it, Write and Improve is a website. It's actually a tool developed by the University of Cambridge, and it has helped more than 2 million learners of English across the globe improve their writing. And as we are preparing for the Linguaskill, we can also make good use of this platform, of this tool, to improve our writing skills. Of course, this platform is not directed at improving your writing for the Linguaskill specifically, but as you improve your writing skill as a whole, you are preparing for the Linguaskill. You are better preparing your writing for the Linguaskill test as well. Last time we talked about this platform, we didn't we didn't show you how the website is and the details that it has. And today, I'd like to show you the details of the website and how you can navigate through all the resources that you have available there. So let me know if you can see my screen. Just a second. Can you see it? Let me know in the chat. Yes, 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 perfect, excellent. So this is the first dashboard, the home page. So write and improve. You just type writeandimprove.com that you will come to this page. I'm already logged into my account, so you'll probably have to create an account as well. It's not difficult. You just need to put your email, your name, and a password, and that's it. Then you log into your account. It's for free. You don't have to pay anything. So it's just there, ready to be used, ready to be studied. So here you have writing tasks that are divided into 5 categories. So the first one, write and improve for beginners, write and improve for intermediate students, advanced, business, and just for fun. So let's suppose that you are an advanced student. You click here, and, oops, ask me later. You click here, and you have access to all the tasks, all advanced writing tasks on your left here in this rectangle. So you have a proposal, a review, an email, another email, and you can go through all the pages here and see a task that is interesting for you and that you would like to practice more. For you to have an idea, take a look at how many pages we have. 36. So you have loads and loads of writing tasks to practice, okay? On the right, we have your writing history, okay? All the tasks that you do, they are automatically saved, and you can access them here on your writing history. Here I have 2 as examples, okay? I didn't write the full text. It's just for you to have an idea of how this platform works. So I chose here an email, money advice. Of course, money is always important, and money advice, it's even more valuable, right? So for example, this is what the task, the page looks like. You have here on your top left, the task. You have the topic, money advice, the email that you received. You have an important instruction here. This is part of an email that you received from a friend. So this tells you a lot on the type of writing that you should do. You have the email that he wrote and a final instruction of how many words you should write, from 220 to 260 words. All right, here is the example of my writing, okay? I just typed in 25 words to give you an example, of course. But interesting, it's interesting because you don't have to count all the words that you write. It automatically counts for you. So as you type in words, the number changes. This is extremely helpful. When I took my my CPE test back in 2015, 16, I guess, I had to count all the words that I wrote on my writing paper to see if I had reached the limit of words. And it was very difficult because I had to count at the end of every paragraph. I actually had a strategy in mind. I knew how many words I used to write in a line. So I knew more or less how many words there were in my paragraph. This is not a problem anymore because you can do your test online and automatically counts all the words for you. So you type in your text here. After you type in, you click on check. It will load here very fast, a loading bar, and it will give you feedback, okay, on the right. So here you have the very first piece of feedback, which is how connected your message is to the task, okay? On a scale from 0 to 5, my message so far, okay, only the 25 words, my message is totally 100% connected to the task. So I'm talking about money advice. For example, if the topic is money advice and you start writing about money and then you move on to animals and then go to fruits, and then you start deviating a lot from the original task, of course, you're going to get a lower grade here. This is the first piece of feedback that you have. The second one is here in this area where it will signal some mistakes that you made in your writing. In my case, I made no mistakes on purpose, but I can show you what they do to signal, how you can interpret all the signals that they put in this piece of feedback. So you click here on help, and here you have the details of how this feedback works, It's code, sometimes I start stuttering a lot. So you have word level feedback and sentence level feedback. Word level feedback, you have blue exclamation mark for incorrect word, red triangle when you forgot something before the word, green arrow when you forgot something after the word, and a question mark for a suspicious word. Maybe that word is not right for that sentence. And you have sentence level feedback, 3 types. When it's like this, all white, it's good. Your sentence seems fine. In the middle, you have these orange lines cutting through your sentence. They're orange or yellowish, this color. Your sentence may be improved. So maybe there's something wrong about that sentence that you can improve. And when you have this orange highlighting over your sentence definitely needs improvement. Okay? So this is how you can interpret the feedback that the artificial intelligence will give you. Down here we have your progress bar. It's correlated to the CEFR, so you can see how much you have progressed over the time that you wrote, that you used this tool, right? So you can compare your first writing to your last one and see how much you have improved. Of course, here in my 25 word examples, my production is pretty much the same. And you have a task timer that can help you a lot emulate exam conditions. When you take the Linguaskill, you have 45 minutes to finish both parts. So you can practice writing these tasks, completing these tasks under a time limit. So you can start the timer here and just start writing. When you finish, stop the time and see how long it took you to finish like 220 words, for example. Pretty cool, right? Do we have any reactions in the chat about this tool? Let me see. What do you think about this platform? Is the number of words in the task between 140 and 190? Sounds interesting, great. We'll talk about the number of words of the tasks in a second, okay, Beatriz? Sounds interesting, great. Love this tool so much, excellent. It seems pretty useful. I'll probably use it a lot later. Yes, yes. It's interesting because first, it's for free. You get automatic feedback. You can compare your progress. You can work on your own development because you are the one who analyzes the feedback and you're the one who rewrites your original text and develop even more your writing skills. So you become a pretty independent and autonomous learner. Very good. Okay, so now I'd like to know from you, what do you usually do to improve your writing skills? And here I'm not talking about English as a whole, okay? I'm talking specifically about your writing skills. What do you usually do to improve it? I read, excellent. There, reading is definitely one of the top strategies to improve your writing. I text my friends in English, fantastic, very good, Bia. I read some books, research, connectors and references, very good, Luis Carlos, very good. I like to read books so I can see how words are written. Definitely, you improve your spelling, vocabulary, texting in group chats. Do you have a WhatsApp group with your classmates in which you communicate with one another in English? I write songs. Amazing, Lucia. Amazing. Very good. Good, Nelson, yes. Bia, yes. We share some tips sometimes. Very good, Luis. Very good. Excellent strategies. I'll show you my tips, okay, on how you can improve your writing as a whole, your writing skill as a whole. So the very first one you already mentioned, read, read, and read. The more you read, the more familiar you get with different writing genres, different types of writing. You can expand your vocabulary a lot by reading. And usually, good writers are avid readers, okay? So the more you read, chances are that you're going to become a better writer. Number 2, write, review, and edit. This is a process that you can follow, that you can use for all your pieces of writing, okay? You write your first draft, and then you review it, and then based on your review, you edit it. You make changes, you edit your first draft. This review can happen immediately after you finish your writing, or the day after you wrote. This review can be done by you, or it can be done by your classmates, by a teacher, by a friend, by someone who is more experienced with the language than you are. By doing this process, you can get hard pieces of evidence that can tell you how much your writing has progressed. So let's suppose you wrote your first draft, you kept it, and then you did this process of reviewing and editing 3 or 4 times. You did it yourself, and then you asked a friend to do it, and then you asked a teacher to do it. And after all these reviews and editing, you have a final piece of writing. If you compare this final piece of writing with your first draft, you can see, it's pretty visual how much you have improved over all the pieces of writing that you had. And then this motivates you to keep repeating this progress over and over again. Excellent tip, this one, okay? Try to follow it with your peers, with your teacher, with a friend that you have. This is very good. Number 3, be succinct and don't over-explain. This is a tip for you if you're starting to write. Students who are initiating this writing life, or this preparation for the writing of a test, they tend to over-explain a lot ideas in their writings. So try to be straightforward. Read your text and see if the idea is clear in the first paragraph, in the first sentence. Do I need to keep explaining it as I keep writing, or was it clear the first time that I mentioned it? Tip number 4, put yourself in the reader's shoes. You're not writing to yourself. Remember, if you're writing, you probably have a target audience. So try to put yourself in the reader's shoes. Does your text have the information that my reader expected to have? How is the experience of reading my text? Does it flow smoothly, or do I get stuck as I read the text? After you finish your piece of writing, it's interesting the day after for you to read it with this mindset, as if you were your target audience, your target reader. And then you can analyze it and see what needs editing. Number 5, expand your vocabulary. And this is good, especially for the test, because on the day of the test, you're going to write about specific topics, right? And whenever we're writing about a specific topics, we tend to use a group of words related to that topic. So if you don't have a solid knowledge about that topic, you tend to repeat the same words over and over again. And this has a negative impact on the reader's experience as well. Tip number 6, make writing a daily exercise. There's no way out, guys. If you want to get better at writing, you have to write. It's not just about reading. It's not just about putting yourself in the reader's shoes. It's about writing as well. You have to practice writing. You have to actually do some writing to get better at it. It doesn't have to be every day. We know how hard it is to practice every day, but you can try to increase the frequency which you practice writing. If you do it like twice a semester or 4 times a semester, try to improve it, to increase it. Do it once a week, 4 times a month, right? And this accumulates and you get more comfortable with writing. And finally, start a writing circle or a writing group. This is something that you can propose to your classmates, okay? After the session today, send them a message and see if they are down for a writing group or a writing circle. You don't have to write every day as tip number 6, but you can select in a specific topic for the month, and then you write a piece of text. Can be an email, can be an article, can be a review. You select the type of writing that you're going to do. You write it, and then you send it to your friends for them to review, critique, give you feedback, and then you add it, and then you show to them again, and then you can improve your writing even more. This is especially good because you're not just going to write texts. You're also going to review your friends' productions, and you are automatically putting yourself in the reader's shoes, right? This activity somehow is linked to all the 6 previous tips that we have here. You are reading, you are writing, reviewing, and editing. You are paying attention if your friends are over-explaining or not. You're putting yourself in the reader's shoes. You are expanding your vocabulary by reading your friends' production, and you are increasing the frequency which writing is happening in your preparation. So somehow this is connected to all the 6 tips. Excellent tip there. All right. How do you feel about starting a writing group? Do you think your classmates would go for it? What do you think? Monthly topics. You don't need to write every week. Think about the classmates that you have in your group. Beatrice thinks they would love it, okay? Nelson, alone, I got it, Nelson. I don't know about my classmates, but maybe my friends would find it cool. Very good, Luis, okay. Nice, give it a go. The no you already have, right? Only benefits here. All right, so let's start talking about the test. This is the overview of the writing. So The total length is 45 minutes, and you have two parts. Part one is always going to be an email. Okay, guys, this is the part in which you grab a pen and a piece of paper to take notes. So 45 minutes, two parts. For part one is always an email of a minimum of 50 words. There's no word limit, so you can go over 50 words. Actually, I suggest you go over 50 words so that you can express your ideas and cover all the topics that are suggested there. Your results are worth 1/2 of the final writing result. Although it is a shorter part, it is 1/2 of the final writing result. Part two is the long text, and here's the trick, because we don't know, you cannot anticipate the type of writing that you're going to do in part two. So you should be ready for whatever comes. You might need to write a review, a proposal, an article, an essay, and so on, a web post, so on and so forth. That's why the tool, the platform, Write and Improve, is so important for you to get ready, for you to get familiarized with different types of writing genres, okay? Part two is the second half of the final writing result. Since we're talking about results are released within 48 hours, so it's pretty fast. And your writing is corrected by artificial intelligence. It's basically a computer. And this has an impact on your mindset during the writing, okay? We'll talk about it in a minute. So far, any questions here about the format? I have more interaction with, okay. No questions in the chat, perfect, we can move on. This is the overview. Here is part one. Let's talk about the two parts in more detail, okay? This is part one. Luis, the bullet points on part one are like keywords. I'm gonna show them now, okay, Luis? So this is a print screen that I took of the mock test available on the Cambridge English website. And this is what you're going to find. The top bar illustrates how much time you have left. You have part one. You should spend about 15 minutes on this task. And it's important that you have, you keep an eye on timing, because if you spend too much time on part one, you won't have enough time for part two, which is the long text. Here, remember, you should write a minimum of 50 words. So you don't want to be going very far from that. You don't want to be writing like 120 words, 150 words in this task, because it will take a lot of time. So stick to 60, 70, 80, 90 word stops. This should be fine for you to cover all the topics. Here you have the instructions and the guiding points, okay? On the right, you have the square in which you should write, the word count, so you don't have to count all the words that you type in, and you have 3 buttons, cut, copy, and paste. Remember, everything that you cut, everything that you copy, and everything that you paste should be only in this square, okay? If you try to copy something from a Word document and paste it here, it won't work. If you try to cut something from here and paste into a Word document or a notepad, it won't work. The buttons work only inside this website, only inside this square, all right? Let's focus specifically on the task. These are the instructions that you have. You have 40 seconds to read it. Renat already did this exercise. Excellent, Renat. Take a look at the instructions. I have 2 questions for you. As you finish, you can type done in the chat, okay? Done, done, done. Okay. Very good. So my questions to you are two questions. First, who is your target reader? Let me know in the chat. Who is your target reader in this task? Jen. Nelson said, your friend, Jen, important piece of information there. Jen, a friend. Jen, my friend. Fantastic. And what does that tell you? How does that impact my writing if I know who my target reader is? Very good. 10 points for Beatriz. Of course not. It's informal. You know the level of formality of your email. You may say, but Johnny, it's an email. Emails tend to be formal. No, not really. You're writing to a friend to talk about a reunion, a celebration. Right? This is highly informal. Friend, both your target reader and the topic that you're writing about. It's a celebration with friends. So it tells you that you can write more informally, and you're not going to start this email by saying, Dear Jen, I would highly appreciate if we got to get, no, right? This doesn't fit within this context. Very good. Not really a formal language. That's it, Bruno. That's it. Now I have two more questions. What points should you cover and how can you use them in your favor? These questions are a bit more tricky. Let me know in the chat. Where are the points that you should cover and how can you use these points in your favor? There are some people who think that the points that you have that you should cover, they are a straitjacket, and they somehow hamstring you from using or from writing what you want to write. Try to look at them from a different perspective, from a more positive perspective. But the importance you give while dedicating the task, how we will do the celebration. Of course, Luis, this is one of the points. So you have the 3 points that you should cover are here, the 3 bullet points. First one, suggest a good way to celebrate with your old college friends. 2, explain when would be the best time for the celebration. And 3, offer to help organize the celebration. These are the 3 points that you should cover in your email. And how can you use them in your favor? The very first one is somehow you already have the structure of your reply, the structure of your writing, all done here, right? First, I'm going to start by suggesting a good way to celebrate. Then I'm going to explain when the best time is, and I'll finish my email offering to help organize the celebration. So the structure of your email is already here. You don't have to think about a new structure and new topics to reply to Jen. So this is already done for you. This saves you some precious time there. A second point that you can, a second strategy or technique that you can follow is this one, to try to answer all the 3 points with short answers. So if it were me, I would break these points down into 3 short answers. First, suggestion. First, a small suggestion, a short suggestion, then explain when, and then offer to help organize. In this context, my suggestion would be go on a pub crawl. So I can see Jen is my friend. We are going to get together with some old friends from college. Usually college friends, they like to have a couple of beers. So I'm going to suggest go on a pub crawl. Pub crawl is when you go to a pub, have a couple of drinks or beers, then you go to a different pub, do the same thing, go to a different pub, do the same thing, and so on and so forth. This is go on a pub crawl. Very short answer, it's there, answered the first topic. Now explain when. Weekend. For me, I can see this suggestion, this action happening over the weekend. And here I have a sentence in red to make my suggestion easier to fit in my text, okay? It's interesting for you to answer the question with a short answer, and also for you to think of linking ideas to introduce your answer. You don't want your answer to be floating around the text and not be connected to any parts. You're not going to write an email like, hi, Jen, let's go on a pub crawl this weekend. Bye-bye, right? It's very short. It's not connected to anything. So it's good to think of linking ideas. So I can look at this context and see, I'm going to go on a pub crawl. People are going to be drinking beers and having drinks. So maybe that can be a reason why the weekend is a better choice. So I'm going to write, try different types of beer. And when I'm writing the actual text, I can transform this sentence into, as I know that our old college friends like beers and drinks very much, and we are going to try different types of beer, I believe the weekend, or I think the weekend is a better option, or is a good option. Okay, does that make sense? Think of the short answer and the linking ID. And I did the same thing for the third point, offer to help organize. So my short answer is, I will help by getting in touch with our friends. This is going to be my contribution. This is going to be my help. And my supporting sentence, my linking idea is, as you've been swamped with work, so you can connect with Jen, right? I know that you have been swamped with work. Swamped with work is very busy at work. It's an informal way to say that you are very busy at work. So I can say that, as I know that you've been swamped at work, so I can help to get in touch with our friends. You can also change the sentence. You can say, I still have the phone numbers of our old college friends, so I think it's easier for me to get in touch with them. Also a good linking idea for you to use your short answer. Okay, so before you start writing, having this structure can save you lots of time at the end, because you already have the ideas that you will use to cover all the topics. This, by doing this, you make sure that you're covering all the bases. Okay, after you do this, it's just start writing, putting your ideas on paper. On paper, not literally in this case, right? These are my tips then for my final tips for part 1. First thing, remember, your writing is marked by a computer. You won't judge your ideas. Remember that I said that artificial intelligence corrects your production. I'm suggesting here going on a pub crawl. You can suggest something totally different, okay? Something that connects with you more, a topic that you know more about, a topic that you have more vocabulary at your disposal, more that come more naturally to you for you to write about. You can suggest dinner. You can suggest a Sunday lunch. You can suggest gaming night, something that is more appealing to you, something that you can write more about. There is no judgment involved. But it's something that not many people like. The computer that is correcting your production doesn't care, right? If you feel comfortable talking about it, if you think it's a topic of your interest, go with it. If it fits the context, go with it, right? It can be a game night. You can mention that your old college friends used to play together after class. It's not really a problem, okay? So the very first tip is there's no judgment involved. Second, don't forget who your target reader is. This will indicate how you should greet him or her. So this is an email, so you should start your email by greeting your friend, right? In this case, it's an informal context. So you're not going to start by saying, "Dear Jen." You're probably going to start by saying, "Hi, Jen. Hey, Jen. What's up, Jen?" Something more informal. 3, after you greet, it's time for the body of the email. So you go back to the structure that you have, the short answers, the linking ideas, and you make sure that you have covered all the bases, all the topics, okay? After, don't forget to connect your answers and linking ideas well. Use linking words wisely. And this is for your actual writing, okay? And here I'm talking about vocabulary. We have something called, you can take notes to search for it later, cohesive devices. Okay, I'm going to write here in the chat, cohesive devices. They are words that you can use to connect your ideas. And we have different cohesive devices in English, okay? Different words. You have words or short phrases to add a new idea. You have words or short phrases to contrast, to add a contrasting idea, to justify an idea, to emphasize an idea, to talk about cause and effect. These are all cohesive devices, okay? In a task like Linguaskill, in a task like FCE, or any other writing task that you're going to take, for sure you're going to need cohesive devices. So if you have a solid knowledge about it, they are going to help you a lot write more cohesive and coherent writing productions. Next, at the end of the email, adjust your goodbye to the formality of the email you're writing. Of course, if you started informally, you're not going to finish with "best regards." You're going to finish with something more informal. Take care. Bye-bye. See you on Sunday. Something more informal because you're writing to a friend. In the same way, if you're writing a more formal email, if you started formal and you go, you keep your formality all the way down until you sign off by saying goodbye. Finally, practice this writing process under exam conditions, okay? You already have the strategies. For the strategies to be effective on the day of the exam, you should practice them over and over again, not once, not twice, not 3 times, over and over again before the test, so that they are more effective on the day of the test, right? In this case, 50 words in 15 minutes. So far, part 1, okay? What tip, what technique, what practice do you like the most? The linking strategies, okay, Bia, nice. Linking words, cohesive devices, excellent. Okay, Nelson, the cohesive devices seems great. Cohesive devices, okay. Okay. Remember the strategy, okay? Try to answer all the topics with a short answer, have a couple of linking ideas, and try to connect all the ideas using cohesive devices. Linky words are important. Very good, very good. Okay, so let's move on to part 2. This is the part 2 of the test. It's a print screen that I took. As you can see, the layout is pretty much the same. You will have the top bar indicating how much time you have left, but this time you should spend about 30 minutes on this task. So this one is a bit longer, okay? You should write at least 180 words, at least. You can go over 180 words as well. I'll give you 40 seconds, I think it's fair, for you to read task 2, okay? And similar to part 1, I'm going to show you my questions after you finish reading. When you finish, type done in the chat. Okay. Done, done, done. Done. Camila, done. Okay, Camila. Okay, Gabriel. Very good. So my questions are, this time, what type of writing is it? And who is your target reader? The first type of writing in part 1 was an email. And part 2, what type of writing is it? Okay, it's more formal, but what's the type of writing? What's the type of text? Luis thinks it's an opinion article. I guess that is how it's called. An essay. It's in the instruction here, actually, the type of writing. Take a look at this last part. And you have decided to post your comments on the town website. So the type of writing is a website post. Okay, it's a web post. And who is your target reader? Local people, very good stare. The people that live in the same town as you do. The people who access the website, the community members, right? As Luis said, I guess it was, no, Renato. Renato thinks it's a bit more formal, this one. Do you also think this is a bit more formal? Yes. Is it extremely formal as an article or a formal email? Or it's just a bit more formal? Half and half. Yes. In a level of formality, it's not informal, definitely, but it's not that formal either. Okay, I would say it's spending more to a bit more formal. Very good. So it's a web post to local people in your town. 2 more questions. What points should you cover this time? How many points? Let me reformulate my question. How many points should you cover? And how can you use them in your favor? Not what points, okay? How many points should you cover? Now, so 3 main points based in your opinion. 3, tricky, okay? It's not that obvious. All right, so the points that you should cover are here. So you're talking about the traffic problems you have in your neighborhood. First point, why you think the amount of traffic is increasing in your town? 2, what problems the increased traffic is causing in your town? 3, how the amount of traffic in your town could be reduced, and 4, any other points you think are important. You should definitely consider this any other points you think are important too. That means you need to have some extra ideas of your own in your text, okay? How can you use them in your favor? Similar to part 1. You already have more or less the structure of your text. If we take these guiding points here. So you can assume that each point is a paragraph. So the first paragraph, you'll talk about the why, the amount of traffic is increasing, 2, what problems the increased traffic is causing in your town, 3, how the amount of traffic could be reduced, and then you can connect there some ideas that you have, some other ideas to complement the last paragraph. Okay, so let's see how I structured my answers. Of course, they are examples, okay? So I have why more traffic? On the day of the test, I forgot to tell you in part 1, on the day of the test, you can have a pen and a piece of paper, a notebook. So you can draft these answers before you start writing, okay? When you start writing, you already know where you're coming from and where you want to go based on your short answers and linking ideas. For part 2, this is a bit different because now you have to write at least 180 words. So if you write one idea, one short answer for each point, would that be enough? Will that be enough for you to have 180 words at the end? Probably not, right? So it's interesting. It is a good idea for you to have 2, 3, 4 short answers for each topic, okay? And 1 or 2 for the last one, any points you think are important. So my points are, why more traffic? Poor conditions of roadways. This is the first one. And second, roads are improperly paved. Remember when I told you about specific vocabulary, it's important to expand your vocabulary by reading and studying, so on and so forth. This is a very good example. You're writing about a very specific topic, which is traffic problems. So you need to have a good repertoire, vocabulary repertoire of this specific context. So you're going to use words such as roadways, roads, paved. Then you can use collocations here, improperly paved, poor conditions. You see, as your writing develops, you'll feel the need to know a specific vocabulary about this topic. And you can have many topics in part 2, right? In part 1 as well. For the problems, I have 4 suggestions, okay? And try to notice how all the 4 problems are somehow a natural sequence, okay? So the problems that we have, because the roads are improperly paved and they are in poor conditions, we have water accumulation. Because we have water accumulation, we have vehicles hydroplaning when they don't adhere to the road and they just slide onto the street. So we have water accumulation, vehicles hydroplaning. Because vehicles are hydroplaning, drivers lose control of their car. And because drivers lose control of their car, the number of accidents has risen by 200% since last year. Is this information true? Is this data true? No, but remember, the computer doesn't care. Okay, there's no judgment there. You can make data up as you wish. So we have 4, and they are a natural sequence of problems. Okay, it's important that they are connected because in this way you create opportunities for you to use cohesive devices, right? Of sequencing. They are also connected to the first topic, so you can use cohesive devices there to connect one paragraph to the other. Okay, it's important that they make sense between topics, and it's important that they make sense inside the same topic as well. As a possible solution, we have here, as I finished talking about the problems by talking about the number of accidents, I will start the last one by mentioning these numbers. So bring these numbers to the government's attention. I'm talking about the government, pressure the government to give more money to road maintenance. And as another point that I think it's important, and this is a pretty flexible solution, okay, that you can have up your sleeve for different tasks, start a campaign on social media. This is pretty flexible. You can start a campaign on social media to talk about pretty much everything, right? So you can just adjust this idea to the context that you're writing about. So I have 3 other points here, okay? See how they are connected between topics and how they are connected inside the same topic. This connection will create opportunities for you to use all your knowledge, your solid knowledge of cohesive devices, different grammar structure, different vocabulary. This is your time to shine, okay, for you to show, for you to write everything that you have studied during your preparation that you did before the test, okay? This is your time to shine. Don't be afraid of using the cohesive devices, conditional sentences, inversions. Careful not to overuse all of them, of course, but try to show range, both of vocabulary and grammar structure. All right, so my final tips for part 2 are, first one, remember, it's marked by a computer, no judgment, pretty similar to part 1. So the data cannot be true. You can make things up. It's not a problem. 2, don't forget who your target reader is. This will indicate how formal your writing should be. Again, this example, we have a slightly more formal task, but it's not entirely formal. Go back to the structure you already have. Always make sure you cover all the topics. Again, part 2 is longer. You have to write 180 words at least. So you should have 3 to 4 ideas per topic so that you can connect them and have the word limit. Don't forget to connect your ideas. Use linking words wisely to have a good idea development. The development of your ideas is one of the criterion for the correction of your writing. Vocabulary range and grammar accuracy are also part of the criteria. So you should show a vocabulary range inside that topic, and grammar accuracy and range of grammar as well, different grammar structures. Subjunctive, mood, conditional sentences, relative pronouns, inversions, they are all very welcome in this second part. Review your text and see if spelling, punctuation, and capitalization need editing, okay? This is more connected to vocabulary. So it's important that you get the spelling of the words correctly. It's important that punctuation is accurate in your text, and you should capitalize words that need to be capitalized. The letter I, proper names, they should have capital letters. Okay, capital letter is the opposite of lowercase. And finally, practice this writing process under exam conditions. So 180 words in 30 minutes. If you can get it down to 25 minutes, 26, you have a good margin there for you to be safe on the day of the test, okay? Again, it's important that you practice these strategies so that they are more effective on the day of the test. Practice not once, not twice, not 3 times, but many times, okay? It's very important. For this part, what tip did you like the most for part 2? What are you taking away with you from part 2? Luis Carlos is saying that I love writing essays like these, but it's a bit hard. Yes, I'm not gonna lie, writing is not easy. It comes with practice, okay? That's why practicing the techniques, expanding your vocabulary, try to read more often, start a writing circle, a writing group. It's so important. What are you taking away? Leonardo said everything. The importance of vocabulary, expand your vocabulary, the part of connecting ideas. Okay, good, very good, very good comments. Knowing that I can be more free with my ideas. Very good, Luis Carlos. Yes, there's no judgment there, okay? If you feel more comfortable talking about, in part 1, as an example, talking about a Sunday lunch, fantastic, go ahead. If you feel more comfortable talking about a gaming night, amazing as well, go for it. Who the target reader is, but all the topics are great, good, very good, fantastic. So with your ideas, I would connect them to the do's, right? Think about your target reader, connect your ideas, vocabulary is very important, expand your vocabulary, start reading more, okay? These all fit into the do's when we're writing. Would you like to add anything else for do's? For the whole test, Thinking time. You pretty much covered all the tips that I gave, right? If you remember, if you take away with you the ones that you wrote, you should be fine on the day of the test. Jackie, I guess that's it. I'm on time, right? 2013. Pretty punctual.
Yes, you are right on time. As sharp as a shark.
Let me just say goodbye to everyone before you finish the session. Thank you so very much for your contributions, for your interaction with me. I had loads of fun talking with you. Hope to see you next time in 2 weeks. And enjoy, practice writing, and I hope you can get awesome results on the Linguaskill exam. Thank you so very much. But don't leave the room yet, because we have the satisfaction survey.
That's it. Very nice, very nice. Guys, that was nice. So here we're finishing our class. Important links for you to access. I have already sent you the presentation PDF file, so you can study what we have seen with Teacher Johnny tonight. And here you also have the important links to keep on studying and still have seen your strategies on writing. So we have the CNA net here, and also student languages and write and improve, and of course, CambridgeEnglish.org for you to see mock tests and everything on Linguaskill. Okay, so these are the links for you to work on and try to improve even more your strategies on writing. And the satisfaction survey for tonight's session, please, if you are using your cell phones, you can see the QR code here and just try to answer to our satisfaction survey so we can improve our work to you. Okay, we can put the link here. All right.
I'll get the link here, Jackie. Just a second.
Okay, thank you. Just a moment. Hope you have enjoyed our session. Take your time answering to these very short questions for us to try to deliver best sessions for you guys.
There you are.
Yeah. Can you access the link, Arthur? Yeah, good. So take your time, answer to these questions. It's always important for us to get your feedback. So we can see if we can change anything. All right, Camila, thank you very much. Okay, so we can move on, right? And see you the next session with our next topic. And I hope you can keep on studying, guys, and to have good results for the Linguaskill. Right, Johnny?
That's it. Hope you have enjoyed the session. Thank you so very much.
Yes, guys. Thank you for coming and see you on the next session. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.